I know the pressure of hearing how transformative journaling can be for your life can be so overwhelming because everyone will say something is great for you, but they won't actually tell you how to do it. So that is why I'm here. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Julia. I have been journaling for over 8+ years, and I can honestly say that journaling has transformed my life. So I'm sharing with you everything that I have learned about journaling in the past 8 years so you can start journaling today. Most people will think of journals as a very emotional, therapeutic, daily practice, but there actually are a lot of different types of journals. So we're just going to briefly go over a couple of my favorites and ones that I personally use. I'm sure you've heard this one before, but daily journals. This is my daily journal that I use every single morning and every single night, and for any emotional needs that I have. I also have a junk journal, which I use for a fun creative outlet. You can also use a journal for quick notes to take with you for anything that you need to remind yourself about. You can have gratitude journals, dream journals, reading journals, recipe book journals. There are so many types out there, and if one speaks to you, I recommend just starting there. But my biggest piece of advice is give your journal a job. It's a lot easier to go into journaling with something you specifically want to get out of it or somewhere you want to go with the journal, so that way you just don't have this overwhelming blank paper staring at you. And of course, there are no rules to journaling either. You can have one journal for everything, or you can have separate journals for everything, like I tend to do. And if you want an entire video about any of these specific journals or just journal ideas in general, please let me know. Comment down below if you are interested. But for the sake of this video, we are going to be talking about one type of journal in particular, which is probably the most common one you've heard of, which is a daily journal. Now, showing up for a journal every single day can seem immensely overwhelming. So we are going to start very small with our emotional daily journals, and we'll start building up to deeper thoughts and more profound thoughts in our journal. If you've ever been to therapy, you might resonate with the idea that showing up outwardly is a lot easier than showing up inwardly when you begin. When you start therapy, you don't talk about these deep, profound emotions because you're just looking for surface level conversation. And that's how we're going to start our journals. So start with some simple things. Start talking about your surroundings, or maybe people in your life, or events that you've gone to. You don't need to start talking about yourself and your emotions when you begin. What did you eat today? Who did you talk to? If you start looking for those little moments and start jotting them down, I promise you it is going to be so much easier than trying to think of emotions to bring up. Starting small also may mean starting with only one sentence a day. To make a habit, you just need to show yourself that you're consistently showing up. Start finding a time in your day that you can sit down. Set a timer for yourself for 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe you write one sentence, maybe you write a paragraph in that amount of time, but find a time in your day that you can consistently show up. Maybe you wake up 10 minutes early and have your journal by your bedside table. In the morning, you wake up, you jot your thoughts, and you go about your day. Again, it's about showing up daily that's going to really make this a habit for you. And once you start making the practice of daily journaling a habit, you are going to start seeing those results. Now, I cannot stress this enough, but please let go of the idea of perfectionism. A lot of people fear starting a journal or getting into more emotional thoughts in a journal out of fear of being read, out of fear that it doesn't have continuity or you don't have enough consistency with it. Let me just start off by saying there's a reason that I never show the inside of my daily journals. Of course, they're going to have some emotions and things going on in my life that I don't share with everyone, but it also is because sometimes it's literally chicken scratch. It's about releasing that emotion. It's about letting go of what's in your mind. So it does not need to be perfect. And that also means that if you fall off for a little bit and you're not journaling as consistent, that's totally okay. Any great habit isn't performed with perfection. It's just how the world works. It's how your body and your mind works. I have gone almost an entire year without daily journaling, which is crazy to say because it is a practice that I love adding into my routine and I do feel results with. Don't be discouraged just because for a couple of weeks you don't journal about anything and suddenly you don't really know what to journal about. That's okay. It's going to happen. Life gets in the way. That's why it's important to try and find a time in your day or start adding it as even a small routine, because hopefully it can kind of eliminate that. But when the inevitability strikes, recognize that you are human and sometimes that happens and that's okay. As you start showing up in your daily journal, you might recognize that reaching these deeper levels of emotion and thought become easier. Or you might just notice that your mind becomes clouded and overwhelmed with thoughts and you need a way to release that emotion. The easiest way to let go of any weighing emotions and honestly just get in touch with yourself is through what I like to call emotional dumps. This is literally what it sounds like. It is just emotionally dumping out any thoughts, any emotions, any feelings, pen to paper. You can set a timer if that's easier for yourself, or you can just allow yourself to ramble about anything that comes to mind. There is no rhyme or reason. You don't have to have a structure. You just allow yourself to release any thoughts, any emotions going on. Maybe it ends up being a to-do list, or it ends up being something about gratitude. I always start these emotional dumps with a direction I want to go, and it always drifts into something else. I usually end up feeling more grateful for my life, happier, ready to take on a new challenge after I do this, because I recognize that whatever I'm feeling or whatever is going on, whatever is stressing me isn't as big of a deal as my mind is making it. Now, all of this is great, but I know sometimes you may just struggle to write down without any rhyme or reason. So if you are struggling with that, simply write a letter to yourself. Make it a letter to your future self to look back on, or maybe address it to a close person in your life. That doesn't mean that you have to give that to them. Now, having structure with a daily journal is always my recommendation. You might want to seek a guide or an outline for your daily journal, and that is personally what I use. And I have gotten so many questions about my prompts that I use and how I've structured my morning and nighttime journaling for the best results for myself. So I actually made a free printable and downloadable guide for you to use. If you are interested, the link will be down below for you guys. It is literally the morning and nighttime prompt that I use every single morning and every single night. And I can say with certainty that this is the guidelines that I've used to be the most successful in my life. And the greatest thing about this is it gives you kind of a guide for when to reflect and to make sure that every day you are living with your goals and your best self in mind. But every once in a while, a daily guide is not enough, and you eventually will hit a writer's block, and that is totally okay and understandable. Like I said, we are not here for perfection. We are here to show up for ourselves. So I've made a couple of easy journaling prompts. When that inevitable writer's block strikes, you at least have something to write about and to show up for yourself. And maybe these are a stepping stone to get into something else in your journaling. Now, I love a good grounding exercise, so I thought this one would be a phenomenal practice to have in a journal, is using your senses in your journal to ground yourself. What is one thing that I heard today that made me happy? What was one thing that I smelled today that struck an emotion? Reach out and touch a fabric close to you. Describe it. Describe how the last food you ate tasted. Describe the most beautiful thing that you saw today. Here are a couple others that I love and I think would be such great journal prompts. When was the last time that I felt truly present? Describe it. What is the last dream that I remember? Describe a time that you felt loved. Describe a time that you felt like a goal was impossible, but you accomplished it anyways. That just about sums up my beginner's guide to daily journaling. Now, if you have any questions about anything that I mentioned, daily journaling or any other journals that I mentioned, make sure to comment them down below so I can make a video for you guys. And if you have not already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I post 2 videos every single week about journaling, routines, and all things health and wellness. I just love living a happy, healthy lifestyle, and I want to make sure that you are able to as well. And if you got anything out of this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It lets me know to keep making videos just like this for you. Like I mentioned, my free downloadable daily journal guide will be linked down below for you. If you are interested, go check that out. I think it's such a great resource and I'm absolutely so happy with it and so proud of it. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'm so proud of you for showing up today. If you started journaling today or recently, please let me know. I love being there on your journaling journey. I will see you guys back here again very soon with a brand new video. Bye. So I actually made a free printable and downloadable, that's not a word. Printable and downloadable, why do I keep saying that word? My foot fell asleep.